Good morning or good evening, depending on which country you're in, really, because I see we've got Nina with us. And Ethel and Jill and Pat and Shirley and Viv and Sarah. Another Sheila. Lovely, lovely, lovely to see you all. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. I've been playing. I've been playing with all sorts of things, actually. There's lots of new products coming our way now, so it's nice to be able to get some new products and work with some older products as well. And I thought we'd do a man's card, really, this morning, or sort of a man's card, a card that could be both, really. So subsequently, I'm going to be using this gorgeous, I love it, cogs. It's really pretty. It's a 3D embossing folder from Nellie Snellen. Out a few weeks now, really, that one. And there is another one that goes with it, and this is the clocks one. That's why I was getting confused. But I thought they both work well as a masculine type card. So I'm going to work with the cogs, but there is also this gorgeous one here, which is with clocks. And a few cogs in there as well. So that's the 3D embossing folders that I'm going to be using today. I'm also going to be working with the notched squares from Presscuts. I thought that would look quite nice. We're going with black and gold as the colours. And the sentiment that I've got in mind to use is a happy birthday one, the stencil sentiment. And I'm not 100% sure. There's two ways that I could use it, and I'm not sure which way I'm going to use it until I actually get there. So I'm going to put those to one side. I'm also working with some of the Mica Magic. So there are new colour blocks out. There are Winter Jewel and Spring Pastels. And I have got Basic Brights here as well, and Spring Pastels. So I've got a selection of both. And I've already cut out 2 squares in black card, just ordinary black card. Oh, I'm going to try something as well. Okay, so I've cut that out in black card, and I have cut it to 14.5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres, which is approximately 6 inches, just under. About 5 3/4, I think it is, because that's about the size that fits in nicely to this actual embossing folder. Now, the thought that I just had was I have seen people going on about how you should wet your piece of card before you put it into your embossing folder, and that you get a better image, a deeper image. So let's have a go with that, shall we? So I'm going to give this a spray. And just a little bit of a spray. I don't think we want to get it too wet. And I'm going to pop it into my folder, like so. And then I'm going to run that through my machine. Bear in mind when you're doing 3D embossing folders that you do need to have a slightly different sandwich than if you were doing what I might call now the old-fashioned embossing folders. I wouldn't say that they're 2D embossing folders, the old ones, but they are of a more, you know, just checking. Is there much difference? Not particularly, because they're brilliant anyway, aren't they? I'm just looking to see if that one that I've wetted slightly. But no, I don't think it is. So that was just my pure interest as we're going along. So that's the cogs. Now, what I want to do, I've done 2 of them because I want to cut one of them out. And I am going to put some Mica Magic on both of them first. And I'm going to use some goldy colour. Now you can mix and match these. You can see that that's my sort of favourite goldy sort of colour. And you can obviously do these both sides, but I'm going to do it that way round. I'm just going to put it on my finger and just rub that along all of these little cogs here. So, a second. So I'm just picking up. The good thing about the Mica Magic is that you can actually mix these colours. So if you wanted to go really vintage looking is the word, maybe, where you fancied changing it around a bit, you can always do that, which is really nice, to put a bit of different colour, as if it's, so you put a bit of gold in it, you put maybe even a bit of green in it. It can all make this look a bit different. But I'm not going for that look today. I'm just going for the highlighting of the colours. And it looks really good on black. Well, I think it does anyway. So you can see already the difference. What a difference that is, eh? So I'm going to do exactly the same with this one, because I want this to be, as I say, I'm cutting out. So this is the one that I sprayed some water on. And I kind of guess if your embossing folders are good in the first place, maybe your result is going to be good anyway. I don't know. I can't see there's a great deal of difference for me personally in this. I use an electric Go Power and Emboss, or whatever it's called, embossing machine to do these. So it could be the machine that's doing the trick as well. But all machines are different, aren't they? So I'm just rubbing that on so that that's both are done in exactly the same way. And so you can see there's not a lot of skill in that, apart from getting that off of my finger. I just prefer to work with my finger on with these Mica Magics. I have to say that is pure preference. It doesn't really matter. You know, you can put them on with the, let's get rid of this. You can put them on with the actual daubers as well. So I've got my silicone mat, which I like to work with. It's a kitchen mat, really, but it works well for me. Let's just try and sort of clean my finger off as well. Okay, so we've got our two bases there. Now what I want to do is pick out some of the cogs that are on here and cut them out so that they're going to sit on top of the ones on there. Now I've got two old punches here. They're Stampin' Up punches from, you can see how old they are, or EK Success actually is who makes them. One of them is 1 3/8 of an inch, and one of them is 1 1/4. But if you haven't got punches like this, you've, I'm sure, got a nested die set of circles, which you could use to cut out instead. So you might have something like this that you could pop over these and cut them out. So I'm going to choose. So I've got to go for only as far as my punch will let me go, which is about there. So I'm going in upside down so I can see where it is that I'm cutting, and I'm going to go around that one there and punch that out. So that's there. Let's see where there's another one that we could go for. Maybe that one there. Just about. And can we go for that one? Is that slightly bigger? I've no idea. Hopeless, aren't I? Yeah, that's a slightly bigger one. And maybe that's enough. I don't know. Maybe. I think it might be enough because I want to put sentiments amongst there. So I've just picked out 3, and I will find where they match. So that one on top of there, that one down there, and that one is there, isn't it? So that one must have been there, and that one like that. So we've got 3 random ones. So then I'm going to take my Mica Magic again, And I'm just going to go around the edges so that I've just highlighted them a little bit so that they just... Now I'm not putting on very much, so in terms of whether that would stay, I know that there is talk of putting on... Yeah, that is right. I have to think about that. That you can put cheap hairspray on it to make it set, but I can't say that I've got a problem with it. It's just such a small amount. If you were putting it on in great, you know, maybe different surfaces and things, but in just small amounts like this, the mica is absolutely fine to put on here. So I'm just going all around the edges just to give it a bit of a highlight here. Okay, so we've just got a little bit there. Let's wipe my finger again. And put my punch away. Now, as I said, you could use your circles here, and obviously you would need to mix and match whichever ones they are at the time as well. So now I'm going to take my notched squares, and I'm going to do a black and a gold frame. So I'm going to pick my smallest frame, which will be my gold one in a minute, and that's going to be that size because it just about covers my background there. Then my next size up from that will be my black piece. My outer piece will be the outside of my black there. And I'm just going to take the next one down there, like that. Okay, so I'm going to do this in a slightly different way. So I'm first of all going to cut my black. Oh gosh, you don't want to see that, do you? Hold on, let's put that around the right way. And my very biggest die that I've chosen is going to go onto my black. This is going to fit onto an 8x8 card blank. So that is the largest die fitting onto there. I'm going to run that through my machine. And as we were saying before, slightly at the wonk, although it's a little bit more difficult to put on such a thing. And I shall run that through. So different sandwich again for your machines if you're doing it like that. So just running that through. Hello, Val. Nice to see you. Mary likes using the Mica Magic. It's really different. It's very good fun. It really is good fun to use. And very different from your sort of gilding polishes and things like that. It just gives a very different effect. Very subtle, but it actually goes on there. Oh. Grubby card. That's no good, is it? Okay, so then I'm going to go with... just thinking which way around to do this. I'm then going to go with my black. So I'm picking out a slightly bigger size there and popping this in. And I've got to sort of eyeball this to make sure that that's about right. I'm sure there's lots of different ways I could do it, but that's the way I'm going to do it today. So I'm just putting that in the middle. And then I'm going to run that through my machine. Like so. So this is going to give me a nice frame to go on the outside. I've also got some really nice mats and layers from Sentimentally Yours, which I've just got such a few that I thought I better not show you because I know what it'll be like. But they would look really, very nice as well. So I've got my frame here. Take that bit of tape off. And then I shall cut my other one out. So you can see that my little frame is going to go in the middle there. So I'm going to take that, and I'm cutting this out of the gold card now. I won't show you the gold card because the gold card is so bright that it will look nice when I put it on there, but you don't need to see the reflection of the camera and everything, do you? So just pop that on and run that one through, and then you'll get the idea of how all this goes. So Nikki's saying that she likes the Mica Magic on black card. I think that is my favourite too, Nikki. I think it just brings black card alive, actually, if you could be such a thing as that. So I'm going to put my card that way round. So I'm going to tape this onto the back so that it's in place, and I know it's not going to move from there. Start off with this is, and then I'm going to turn it around the other way, and I can put my little frame into the centre, because all I want is to have a little bit of gold in the centre. So by taping that gold one into place, I know that I've got it in the right place. So I can run all that through all in one and just do that last little bit there. And I've got my card. It's just a different shape, isn't it? Just a nice different shape to use. So you can see then that gives me that little frame, which I think is quite nice to have the gold frame just inside, not on the outside, just inside. And then this little beauty is going to go into the middle. And so that's what we're then going to be looking at. Yeah? Doesn't that look pretty? Well, hardly pretty. Pretty's not the word, is it? But I just think it looks fab. So now I can see that I've got lots of bits and pieces on here. So I'm going to use my glue eraser to get that off, because I don't want, black does show up lots of marks if we're not careful. So let's just get rid of all of those, because we don't want to have done all of our work and then find we've got all little bits all over it. So that just takes all of that off. And then just pop this. So now I'm going to stick this on properly. So I can remove my tape. That was just to hold it in place whilst I was fiddling about, really. That's all I was doing, just fiddling. So I'm going to stick my, so I'm going to put on the back of my black notched, I'm going to put the glue like so. And I'm going to put, I know I'm doing it from the back, but because we had it all nice and straight on the back, it should be okay. Then I will just turn it over to be sure. I can move it if I have to, fractionally, just fractionally moving that into place so that we've got that nice gold border all the way around. And then I'm going to put it back again and pop some black tape on it. Now, what I was thinking, but I've changed my mind as I was going along, is I was going to think of whether I should put the stencil sentiments actually within this border. But I've changed my mind, because there was two ways of doing it, and really the border's not going to be wide enough for this sentiment, because this one, the sentiment of the happy birthday that I've got, is the largest one that we do. So I could do it if I was doing one of the other borders, one of the other sentiments, but this one is the largest one. And I wanted it to be sort of like a focal feature on there, really. So that seemed to fit the bill to do it in a slightly different way. And I'll show you that in just a second. So I need to, first of all, put this straight into the middle of there. So pop that down. Now, before I really push it down, I'm going to put it as much in the middle as I think I can. But before I do that, and before I actually press it down, I shall put the glue onto this one, turn it over, and offer that over the top to just make sure that I've got my this one in the right place, which I think I have. So I'm just going to bring it down fractionally and press that into place. And then this little one goes over the top like that, hoping that's straight. I think it is. So you see what I mean? I wanted to put, oh, sorry, I was thinking of putting my stencil sentiments sort of up there like that, but they're just going to be too big. But they're going to look fine on here. So that's where I'm going to put them in a second. I'm also going to place some tape onto the back, some foam tape onto the back of my raised ones here, so that they are going to not only be 3D, but they're also going to be uppermost. So we just put a little bit onto there, like that. It's a fabulous range, isn't it? Sorry, I'm just reading. It's a fabulous range of colours, and they all just, and it's as I said, it's a cream. It's almost like an eyeshadow sort of a cream. It's not something that you could put on your skin though, so don't go and put it on as eyeshadow, because that would be a bit silly. But it's that type of consistency, like the cream eyeshadow, but it's full of mica, absolutely stuffed to the gunnels of mica, so it gives a really good effect. Now, you just wipe off that, and let me just do the sentiment. So what I'm going to do with the sentiment is I'm going to use the black and gold, and I'm going to do it that way instead. So I've got some little bits here that were trimmed off from when I cut out my pieces there. And I'm going to, first of all, I think, yeah, we'll do it that way around. First of all, I'm going to trim the sizes down so that we can make sure that they are easier to fit like that, I think. So this one can be, let's see how big these are. They are 2.5 centimeters, so that's 1 inch wide. So I want to cut, I'll cut that piece into 2 inches, because it's just a bit that I've got left over. And I cut this into 1 inch. Right in a minute, won't I? That's better. Okay, so I've got that size to be able to cut my sentiments out. So I'm going to put my happy here. I'm going to put it right up to the edge so that that cuts out that piece. And then this one on this. So these are exactly, put it there a bit. So I've got something to hold it on. These are exactly the same width as the actual stencil. So it's 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. And then I'm going to cut out a little slightly bigger piece that is going to be the backing. So let me just pop these through. And again, I'm going to put them onto my machine. On my machine, this goes that way, like that, that way. I'm going to put them around that way so that that cuts out the pieces properly. And then I'm going to get my little bit of gold. bring them in. And when I take my tape off, you can see, I'll take that out as well, that it cuts it out as a stencil. Yeah, which looks pretty yum, I reckon. And then that one as well. So we've got the 2 happy birthdays, which are brilliant. And then I'm going to cut some of my gold. So if you recall, those were 1 inch wide or 2.5 centimetres. So I'm going to cut these as 3 centimetres, which is otherwise 1 1.25. I think that will be just about right, that it will give that look both top and bottom as well. Yeah, so the same with this. Obviously I've got to trim it all in a second. So and that piece will go in there. Looking good, looking good. So I'm now going to trim this down. So let's just trim it. Now I'm using the marks that I can just about see that were actually from the stencil itself to cut that down so that I know what size, and then I will cut that accordingly. And the same with this piece. It has, I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you see that? It's got just a very slight little mark there, here and here. And that's where I'm going to use what I'm using, I should say, as my cutting mark. But again, you can make these as big or as short as you wish. Okay, so I think I will stick these on first to my pieces, and then I will trim them round. So I'm going to just use sticky specs. Did you ever get the hint that I'm making it up as I go along? I just suddenly think of these things and think that would be better. So I'm going to get a thing of sticky specs. I think I've still got sticky there. Sorry, I'm doing that out of what you can see. I'm going to stick that in the centre because I know that the width is right, and I'll just trim down the sides in a second. So sticky specs is different from sticky sheets. It's not a double-sided sheet. It is full of lots of little sticky bits of glue that sticks on just like that. So I'm now going to just trim down those sides there. So just, I haven't taken a measurement. I've just literally used those lines that the die has already cut out for me, and just trimming it down because I just think it looks nice, and it's easier to do it like that, is it not? So finally, I'm going to put my sentiments into place, and I think we're going to have a happy up there and a birthday down there. And I will put a little bit of tape onto the back of those just to hold those up a little bit. So let's just bring that in. Put 2 bits of tape on actually. So I will be back again on Sunday. Now, on Sunday, I have got to go to a very special little girl's christening. And so I can't quite decide whether to be here a little bit early or whether to do a live video in sorry, a taped video. Not 100% sure about that, so look out for what I've decided I'm going to do, because I can't quite decide. I might be here at 11:45 instead of 11, or it might be a recorded one. Can't quite decide, but we will be doing the February card kit. And the February card kit will give you a selection of choices as to which colour kit, you could say, that you decide to use. Sorry, I'm concentrating. I feel I've got bits of sticky on there, so let's just take that off. So yeah, that's for Sunday, is the February card kit with choices. There is plenty in stock, so if you can't catch it at 11 or 11:15 or whenever it is that I do it, then there is plenty. So be assured, if you can't get there at the time, all is well. So just made a mess on that with sticky fingers, but fortunately I can clear all that away without worrying, so that's good. So there we are. We have got a very masculine type card, but I think it's quite nice maybe for an older masculine type card. Do you know what I mean? Don't mean to say that that's in any way, shape or form detrimental at all, but sometimes when you've got someone that's not going to be into golf or not going to be into fishing or something, maybe you need something like that. No flowers today, but flowers will be coming up very soon. So that is the card for today, used with the Cogwheels embossing folder from Nellie Snellen, this one. But equally as nice, I think, and would work just as well, would be the Time one. So they are both not very many available, I know, because they were on the TV and they clearly all went, but I've still got some just left over. And I've used the Presscuts Notched squares, and I've used the John Next Door Large Happy Birthday Stencil sentiment. So just to let you know what we were all using there. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. I do hope you have a good day wherever you are, or a good sleep if you're just about to go. I will see you on Sunday at some stage, as I said, either live a little bit early or taped if not. And I hope you have a really great few days in between. And if you make any masculine type cards or any cards, do share them over on the Facebook page of Maximum Crafts, because that would be lovely to see you there as well. Okay then, take care everyone. Be good if you possibly can. Thanks very much. Bye.